So this week's topic of Amuna Mondays was the depth behind action over knowledge. And before we begin, the class is dedicated to a couple names, and I'll say them now and I'll repeat them at the end as well. So the names are as follows: Refuah Shalema for Leah Lilach Bat Sarachana. May she have an immediate, speedy, full recovery. And Le'ulei Nishmat for Gabrielle Masauda Bat Sarah and Roger Asher Ben Marcel. May both their neshamas have the ultimate aliyah. So the topic of the depth behind action over knowledge. So I don't know if everyone is familiar with, but most people are familiar with the concept when the Torah was given at Mount Sinai, that us as the Jewish nation, we said, Na'aseh v'nishma, like we'll do it and then we'll listen. So it's like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean you'll do and then you'll listen? Like, don't you have to listen first in order to do? And that's exactly what it states. It states that Na'aseh v'nishma, we'll do and then we'll learn or listen. And there's a massive lesson that's learned there that I only recently thought of, and it's that Hashem gave us the Torah with complete knowledge, knowing that we're going to do first and then we're going to learn. Listen, which means a person like that does first and then learns is bound to make errors. It's not possible to not make errors, especially going in with that mentality that I'm going to do it first and then I'm going to learn. And that's a massive thing, like to think that, I'm messing up and get discouraged because you mess up. Like, Hashem already knew that you were going to mess up. The minute he gave us the Torah, we were bound to be messing up and making errors. It's like the analogy that I used in the class was, you're playing, like, you don't know anything about basketball, you just see the basketball and you just start running around and everybody around you is just carrying the ball, picking each other up to dunk, nobody's dribbling, walking, running, and it's just like, what the hell? But at the same time, they're not wrong. Until the rules are set in place, there is no right or wrong. The only way the right or wrong kicks in is when a rule is in place. So, for instance, the rules are, you need a dribble, you need this, you need that. Now, if you don't dribble, you're wrong. But the fact is, we took on the Torah with the mindset of Na'aseh v'nishma. We're going to do it, and then we'll learn. Then we'll listen. And because of that, like, acceptance aspect, that's how we took on the Torah. There is no errors. We're not wrong. We're not wrong because the truth is we don't know. Nowadays is a lot different. People will be like, but nowadays we know. Do we though? Because back in the day there was, Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel, let's say, two different opinions. Now we have a million different opinions around a million different things, and the truth is you don't know. It's like you're going to sit there and you're going to reach out to a rabbi, and the rabbi's going to tell you one thing. And you're like, okay. And you start doing those things. And you're following that rabbi. And then all of a sudden, as you grow older, or as you get more familiar with the topic or this and that, you start realizing you're not really doing it the most proper way. But what do you mean? The rabbi said you're doing it well. So then you go on and you get somebody and you find a different rabbi. And another rabbi says you have to do this. And it's more stringent. And you find yourself doing that one. And all that's showing you is growth. You did, and then you slowly started learning, I'm not doing it 100%. Maybe I'm doing it 10%. And boom, it doesn't make them all wrong. But at the same time, it's not just a walk in the park like, it says this, so do this. It's not like that because there's a million different interpretations. And the Torah describes it as like there's 72 different ways to understand each sentence in the Torah. So, I mean, you're not wrong. I'm sure there's an opinion out there that's saying you could do this like that way. I'm sure there's restrictions in this and that, but again, it's not our job to aim to be perfect and aim to be right. It's do it, and God will be guiding you to do it correctly. But the action part is more important than the knowledge part. Not to sit. It doesn't matter if you sit in a kollel, sit in a yeshiva all day and night, and then the first opportunity comes up to exercise what you've been learning and you miss it. What the hell's the point? What is the point of sitting there and learning if you have no action behind it? And then there's people that have action, and no education behind it. Honestly, those are the ones that are kind of those are pretty inspiring people. The ones that have no learning behind it, no education behind it, and yet they just do good. And that's what they advertise. They advertise the good and good. And it doesn't matter how much they learn. Those people get the credit. And it's just wild because that's the time that we live in this day and age. It's like you need a backing behind everything. You need this, you need that. When the truth is you don't. Just do. And you'll naturally keep your eyes open while you're doing it, and you'll naturally see God's guiding you to do it correctly. But until then, he's not being like, oh, you didn't do it 100%, so you're not getting credit. That's not how it works. Not how it works. And we know that from Esav. Esav's head is buried in Me'orat HaMachpelah, which is the most holy spot. The Holy of Holies are buried there, yet Esav's head is there. Why? Because Hashem gave him credit from the head up, which shows it's not all or nothing. And when we understand that it's not all or nothing, you're just going to do. It doesn't matter if you know or not, or this and that. At the end of the day, I'm just going to do. We're all naturally inclined for good. So just by doing over thinking and learning and being like, oh, am I ready yet? There's no such thing as are you ready yet? That goes for a job, that goes for a relationship, that goes for marriage, that goes for literally anything. There's no such thing as you're never going to be ready. You just do. It's build up the courage. And leading up into the holiday of Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah, people think that, oh, it's for Hashem. No, why would it? Hashem already forgave you. The fact that you woke up, Hashem already forgave you. Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur is for ourselves, because what's the point of Hashem forgiving us if we don't forgive ourselves? It's like you're free, but you're going to act like a prisoner because you still are in that prisoner mentality. You're not free. You're not free. What? Because you're not behind the cage, behind the walls, you're free? No. If you're still mentally blocked, you're not free. And that's what Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur is for. The time that we look at it like the gates are open, Hashem is there, it's this and that, and it's even more so, and that's why we should now apologize. That's why we should fast. That's why we should go above and beyond and start apologizing to Hashem. Because for ourselves, because we don't apologize, we don't feel like we're forgiven. So if we apologize, we naturally then can think, okay, Hashem's a great understanding God and the one and only, and he's forgiving me. But why would I think he's forgiving me if I never actually apologized? So Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah is strictly for us to get ourselves out of this mentality of, I'm not forgiven. Because the truth is, God forgives you every single day of your life. The fact that you're awake and you're alive, God forgave you. He's on a clean slate with you. Every day is a brand new day. It's not, oh, Rosh Hashanah is here, so I have to now. No, you don't. But use the opportunity to connect on your own level, because at the end of the day, you need to get out of the victim / suspect mentality of like, oh, I did everything wrong. I did wrong. No, ask for forgiveness and understand Hashem's forgiving you. And then you'll naturally start realizing, wow, Hashem is a God of love. Yeah, there's a concept of fear, but there's also the concept of loving. Why choose fear? Some people thrive off fear. Others are stunned. When somebody's scared, they're stunned. They don't move. They're frozen. Somebody loves, you might overlove. You might, take advantage and this and that. But find the balance between love and fear. But that was the topic. I hope everyone has a great holiday, and I'll see you guys next week.